Hi, this is the Get Your Stuff manifestation series, and today I want to do story time. I wanted to talk about some of the things I've manifested since I'm on this journey with you all to get our stuff, the things that we desire, the desire that came within us, the idea that bubbled up inside and said, yes, I would like to have that, but maybe I don't believe I can, or I don't see how it could happen. And so I'm here to share with you some of my manifestation stories. And some of these stories date back before I came to the understanding that how powerful our mind was and how the laws of the universe worked, and realized that I was always doing this all the time. And now I can just learn how to focus my energy more on the things I want instead of giving my energy to things that I don't want. Because I come to realize that where my attention goes, my energy flows. So I want my attention to go towards those things that I want to experience in this third dimension while I'm here, enjoying what some people like to call the matrix, but it's here to transcend the matrix, to recognize that we are the operant power, that what we think mostly we become. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. Whatsoever a man soweth, he shall also reap. If you delight yourself in the law, the Lord, you shall get the desires of your heart. So the Bible is replete with scripture, with teachings, telling us how to utilize our mind. With that being said, like I said, some of my manifestations did come prior to my understanding, but I guess it's because we innately know already that we are this great divine being, yet we are asleep to it. We are asleep to it. And then when we awaken, we're like, oh wow, I was always doing it. I just didn't know I was doing it. I kind of knew, but couldn't put everything together. And then once I start understanding and seeing how other people were able to connect the dots, and they connected it for me and it made sense to me. I know, I keep going off on a tangent. Back to the manifestation. So I manifested my husband. This is my second marriage, and prior to meeting him, I had did some little research on, myself. I had started reading a couple of books. I'm not here to promote anyone, so I won't necessarily say which books I read unless you all really want to know, unless you all really care to know which books they were. I'll share them with the ones that ask. However, on that journey, I had discovered, what it is, like, what did I want in a relationship? How do I see myself in a relationship? And because I had been married previously, to be remarried wasn't like a strong desire of mine, because the first marriage was a true, really strong desire. But the second one, not so much. I was just more like, what? I deserve a good man. And I was on a dating app. He was on a dating app. I actually reached out to him, something I would normally do. I would never be the one to approach a man, but in this particular instance I did. And we've been together 8 years and we've been married 7 years, and we have had a wonderful journey. We're both on this spiritual path together. We both have awakened together to realize that we are that power we've been looking for, that the power that we've been looking for has always been within us. It's not outside of us, but it's within us. And we're on this journey together, and it's just such a great feeling, delight to know that you can share this unveiling, rediscovering of self with the person you have chosen to spend the rest of your life with. And another manifestation was when we bought our home. We were both working at the time. Right now I'm a stay-at-home mom, but he made more money, and we just wanted to use one income at the time. And so at that time he had been in bankruptcy from his previous marriage, so we're both on our second marriage. And so we had to get the FHA loan. And after our finances got better, we were like, let's come out of the FHA loan, because with the FHA loan you're basically paying extra money to have the loan. And so we didn't want to pay that extra money to have the loan. And at first I was a little bit reluctant in refinancing, especially with this one particular bank, because I had worked there and I also worked on the mortgage side. And I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want any of my friends, anyone looking at my finances or whatever, just being all extra for no reason. But I got over that, and only having a home for 2 years, our the price of our home had increased by $80,000, and we didn't even need an appraisal. So we were able to refinance, come out of the FHA loan, go into the conventional loan. We actually lowered our rate. I think our rate is like 3.275, something like that. It's like a really good rate, and we're no longer in the FHA. And it's just it was a wonderful idea, and it ended up turning out better than it was. And so another manifestation that I would like to really, I'm so thankful and grateful for this manifestation, because about 10 years ago, I had an extreme headache, and it caused me to, when I fly, it caused me for my left eye to weaken in sight, and I still haven't manifested that full recovery, but I know that it is something that's going to happen, and that I'm continually seeing myself as having the 20/20 vision I had once prior to that incident. And I don't know what it was. I think it was stress, and it was during the end of the first marriage I was in, and I think I was just feeling so much pressure and so much stress. And I did go to the doctor. They did do some tests or whatever, but no one could give me an answer as to why my sight had decreased or diminished in my left eye. But with that being said, I noticed that when I would go flying, that I would feel so much pressure in my nasal passages. My left eye would just run uncontrollably, so much pressure in my head. It was just so uncomfortable to fly. But I was like, I'm not flying. I'm not going to stop flying. No, I'm going to continue flying. I want to see the world. I want to see this magnificent, majestic place that we call home, that we call Earth. I'm not giving up my flying. I'm going to continue to do it. And every time I would do it, sometimes I wouldn't be in the right frame of mind. So I was trying to take medication to make flight more easier, which I didn't want to be beholden to. And then one time I was on one carrier flight, and the flight attendant gave me a hot toddy, and that really, liquor puts me to sleep. So it soothed me, relaxed me, and then I didn't have the experience of that headache and nasal deep congestion, or whatever you want to call it. It's just throbbing. And it didn't particularly it happened again, but we had decided we were going to go to Dubai at the beginning of this year, and that's like a 12-hour flight. And I just had decided that I'm not going to have any problems with my nasal or headaches or with my eye. That's a 12-hour flight. No, I'm going to enjoy this flight. And guess what? I had no symptoms. I just had decided within myself, and because I had been leading up to that, every time I flew, it got lesser and lesser. Sometimes I would listen to music to get my mind off of it. I would, do little things, consciously to think. But this time I was like, you know what? I'm not talking about the flight. I'm not thinking about the flight. I just know the flight is going to be great. And guess what? It was. My husband, my children can attest to it, my sister, everyone, because they saw how uncomfortable and uneasy it was to take these flights. And a lot of these flights were between 22 to 4 hours, because they were all flights within the United States. I hadn't flown out of the country. And then when I decided to go to Dubai, a 12 to 13 hour flight, I'm like, no, this flight is going to be enjoyable. And it was. And I had no symptoms at all, because I had made the decision that I was going to be well, and there are other manifestations. I think I'll do a part 2, because we get 10 minutes now on TikTok, but I don't necessarily want to use all the minutes. So with that being said, stay tuned for part 2. Have a blessed day.